Dive deep into the heart of the Hollow Earth where our hero Kong is making a mad dash from a rampaging pack of ginormous warthogs. In a dazzling display of quick thinking, Kong dashes to a cliff edge and, whoops, several of the warthogs tumble into a gaping abyss. Not done yet, Kong snatches one midair, rips it apart, and sends the rest scurrying away in sheer terror. Cut to above ground, where Dr. Eileen Andrews, an absolute whiz in monster wrangling, works with Monarch to keep an eye on titans like Godzilla, who's basically Earth's very own monster bouncer, keeping us puny humans safe from other gigantic nightmares. Now, back to Kong, who's just trying to snag a bite from his vanquished foe, when, ouch, a toothache ruins his snack time. Just when you thought Italy was having a quiet day, the colossal titan, Skylar, swoops in, causing chaos. But fear not, because Godzilla, our favorite atomic breath superhero, rises from the depths to save the day. In an epic showdown, Godzilla lets loose his signature move, blasting Sky left and right, finally making the Colosseum his new bachelor pad. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, Kong, the king of swing, is busy keeping other malicious titans in check. The folks at Monarch have their hands full, trying to keep these two titans from turning Earth into their personal wrestling ring. Back at the Hollow Earth outpost, things get spicy as researchers stumble upon some funky energy readings in Kong's backyard, not to mention a new sinkhole, courtesy of Kong's latest tussle with some unruly warthogs. Eileen gets the lowdown from Director Hampton, but it's her adoptive daughter, Gia, who steals the spotlight with her mystifying daydreams at school. Is it a premonition? Stay tuned.
Picture this. Gia, lost in a whirlwind of thoughts, ends up turning her desk at school into a canvas of intricate drawings. Her bemused teacher hasn't the faintest clue that Gia isn't just any student. She's the last of the Yui tribe from Skull Island. This makes her the sole person who can chat with Kong. Imagine that surprise. But that's not all. Gia spills her heart out to Eileen, confessing how she feels like a fish out of water in this crazy new world. And wait for the kicker. She's been having these eerie, Titan-touched visions hinting that Kong might just be in a pickle. Eileen, ever the maternal figure, reassures Gia that they are as thick as thieves and vows to get to the bottom of this mystery pronto. As night takes over, Eileen's staring at Gia's drawings when, bam, it hits her. Those sketches? They're a dead ringer for energy readings from the Hollow Earth. So, off Eileen zips to Miami, roping in her pal Bernie Hayes, a guy whose brain ticks like no other. Bernie, with his quirky noggin, jumps on board to crack the code of these baffling signals tied to Gia's visions. Talk about an unusual day at the office. Cue the action because Godzilla is stirring up trouble again. Fresh off a mysterious energy surge, Godzilla's version of a red flag. He's zooming away from Rome like a tourist who just remembered he left his stove on. But wait, there's more drama unfolding. Kong, big guy with a bigger heart, pops up from Hollow Earth, feeling a bit homesick. Or maybe it's just his toothache. Yes, a dental disaster in the making. Luckily, he senses Gia nearby, who quickly signals the Monarch outpost for some urgent TLC. Enter Eileen, calling in a favor from her buddy Trapper, the dentist with nerves of steel and tools to match. With nifty gadgets, he swoops in, pulls the problematic tooth, and bam, Kong's now rocking a shiny metal tooth, a real party starter. As if on cue, Bernie, a walking talking scoop, drops by. He's got news, but that's a story for another day.
Well, fasten your seatbelts, folks. As it turns out, those mysterious signals buzzing about? Yup, they're distress calls from Hollow Earth. And guess what? Gia's bizarre visions suggest that some mysterious force down under is literally giving them a shout for help. Quick on her feet, Eileen rallies the dream team, yep, including Bernie, Trapper, Gia, and a daredevil pilot named Michael. Together, they tail Kong into the swirling vortex, diving headfirst into the enigmatic realm of Hollow Ash. Once they punch through, Kong ditches them to cozy up in his cave, while Eileen and the squad march on to set up camp. Meanwhile, back on the surface, Godzilla turns party crasher at a nuclear power plant in France. This big guy is not just there for sightseeing, he's gobbling up radiation like it's his favorite snack, powering up for an unknown showdown. Monarch, ever the buzzkill, sends jets to cool his jets, but Godzilla? He brushes them off like pesky flies. And just when you thought things couldn't get wilder, our Hollow Earth adventurers stumble upon a deserted Monarch outpost. Boy, oh boy, what secrets might this ghost town hold? Destroyed, they also find a bloody paw print on the stone walls up above, which Trapper says is meant to be a call for war. Elsewhere, Kong finds the sinkhole and comes across a subterranean realm. He senses a strange energy coming from an unseen entity and grabs his axe to prepare for a battle. He walks through until he encounters a mysterious figure in the smoke. The figure soon reveals itself to be a smaller ape named Nuko. Kong tries to approach him peacefully and extends his hand, however Sukko bites him and then quickly runs off. He runs after the young ape only to discover that he has summoned 3 other gorillas to attack him. They quickly capture Kong and one of them almost kills him with his axe. attacks. Luckily, he breaks free from their grasp and fights them off. Kong even uses Suo as a weapon to fend off the other gorillas and kills one of them. The other ape almost falls off a cliff, but Kong grabs him and pulls.
Just when things were looking up, the ungrateful ape tried to pull a fast one on Kong by attempting another stab. But, quick on his feet, Kong gave him the boot, literally, sending him tumbling to his demise, while the third ape hightailed it out of there. With that drama behind him, Kong turns to Zuko, hoping he can lead the way home. Meanwhile, Irene's crew is forging ahead when Michael insists they follow his lead. But before you know it, a tree-like creature snacks on him. Yikes. Chaos ensues and the team scatters. Cut to AR tracking Godzilla, who's en route to the Arctic Ocean. It seems he's got a date with another Titan named Tiamat. Back in the Hollow Earth, Alina's squad is exploring the ruins of an ancient temple. Gia's eyes light up. She recognizes the old carvings from her tribe's lore. These ruins aren't just any old place. They're a shrine to Mothra, queen of the monsters down here. And just as they soak in the eerie vibe, a glowing dragonfly appears. Curious Gia reaches out, and with a mere touch, it's showtime. The mystical creature sets off a burst of ancient magic.
In an intriguing twist straight out of an adventure novel, our protagonists unravel an ancient irrigation mystery, tracing the tantalizing flow of water through petite tunnels, until, voila, they uncover an exquisitely hidden subterranean realm, shielded by an invisible veil. Fearless Gia has just the touch, literally, as she miraculously opens this unseen barrier with a mere wave of her hands, unveiling a realm untouched by modern explorers. Meanwhile, Zuko, perhaps less bravely, coaxes Kong towards a seemingly serene river, only to realize they've stumbled upon the lair of a monstrous serpent. With the sudden ferocity of a blockbuster climax, the serpent lunges, ensnaring our mighty Kong in a deadly dance. But fear not. Kong, with a wrestler's grace, retaliates, wielding his axe to deliver a stunning blow straight into the beast's gaping maw. The serpent, now thoroughly enraged, attempts to drag Kong to a watery grave. However, not today. With Herculean strength, Kong turns the tides, subduing the beast with a climactic crash. And Zuko? He's off on a mad dash, only to come face to face with the serpent's now headless corpse. What a sight. Meanwhile, Kong, not one to waste a good battle trophy, decides it's dinner time. In a surprising twist of friendship, he even shares the spoils with the jittery Zuko. Cut to Monarch, whose agents are on the trail of Godzilla, tracking the Titan as he converges with Tiamat, an underwater leviathan ready to make a splash in our tale.
Imagine this. Godzilla, our favorite radioactive giant, is deep underwater, entangled in a fearsome tussle with Tiamat. Just when things look grim, Godzilla goes full-on action hero with a jaw-dropping blast of atomic breath, utterly annihilating his scaly adversary. But he doesn't stop there. Oh no. Our champ soaks up Tiamat's radiation like an energy smoothie and dives back into the abyss. Meanwhile, back in the Hollow Earth, things get a bit National Geographic, with a touch of family reunion. Eileen and her crew, stumbled upon by the Yui tribe, find themselves in a plot twist. The tribe spots Gia and, it's like an episode of This Is Your Life. They recognize her as one of their own. There's telepathy, handshakes that double as memory sticks, and an ancient soap opera drama unraveling through visions flashing back centuries. It turns out, the Yui folks had sent a distress beacon. They guide the explorers to this majestic temple library hybrid where Eileen, now a linguistic Indiana Jones, deciphers their history. Plot bomb. The great apes were once the guardians of humanity. But hold your bananas, there was a traitor. The Scar King, not just a bad guy but the worst, rallied the apes for a surface world invasion, facing off against Godzilla himself. Talk about a primate family feud.
Them to retreat and trap them within Hollow Earth to prevent them from escaping again. However, Scar King still dreams to this day to conquer the world above Hollow Earth. It's also said that a direct descendant of the A tribe from the Skull Island, Gia, will be the one to reawaken Mothra. Following this, Kong follows Zuko and discovers the hidden location of the other great apes. He is shocked to find that these apes are forced into hard labor under the oppressive rule of Scar King. Seeing one of Scar King's minions harassing an elderly ape enrages Kong. He steps in to confront the abuser and lands a powerful blow to knock him down and assert his dominance. Scar King then arrives to confront Kong and mocks him for his metal tooth. When the king moves to punish Zuko, an elderly ape steps in to defend him. He then throws the defending ape into a pit of lava, leaving Su so devastated. Seeing this chaos, Kong can know.
Just when you think it couldn't get more intense, the showdown erupts. Scar King, not one to play fair, whips out a fearsome weapon, a whip crafted from a titan's spine, studded with a lethal crystal. Poor Kong almost had him beat until Scar King's chilly ace, Shimo the Ice Titan, gets involved. With one frosty breath, Shimo turns Kong's arm into an ice sculpture, seriously cramping his style. In a twist that feels like a scene-stealing moment from an action flick, our quick-thinking Zuko carves out a daring escape path for Kong, who beats a hasty retreat. But Scar King, ever the sore loser, SICs his goons on Kong's trail, only to have Kong lure them into a rocky trap, literally. All but one henchman bite the dust, hiding behind another ape in a move that screams survivor instincts. Back in friendlier territories, the crew unwinds with the Yui tribe, where Jia reconnects with her roots. Meanwhile, Eileen has a eureka moment about what matters most for her daughter. Talk about drama and close calls.
Just as the Yui part the veil to their world, who swooshes in but Zuko, sporting the battered Kong. Oh, and what a sight! Kong with a grim sign to Jia, lamenting his lost home. Meanwhile, a sneaky gorilla, playing the ultimate eavesdropper, catches this drama unfold and bolts off to tattle to Scar King about a magical gateway to the Earth's surface. But wait, there's more. Enter Trapper, our techno-whiz, who proposes a daring plan. Dusting off the files of Project Operation Powerhouse, he plans to beef up Kong with a mechanical arm. It's off to the races as he scours through Monarch's wrecked tech to assemble a giant beast glove for our furry friend. On the flip side, Scar King isn't just sitting idly by. No sir, he hops onto his frosty beast, Shimo, gearing up his ape squad to conquer the surface. Meanwhile, back at the lab, Zuko gears up too.
As the Scar King struts atop his fearsome Shimo, the tension builds. It's a call to action, and Kong knows it's go time. Urging Eileen and her team to skedaddle, he's not just stepping up, he's leaping up, to the surface world, that is. Through a mysterious portal in Cairo, here comes Kong, roaring into the daylight to fetch Godzilla for a monstrous throwdown against Scar King. And roar he does. Godzilla, snoozing away, snaps to attention. But, oh no, misunderstanding strikes. Godzilla thinks it's round 2, the rematch. Charging like a colossal freight train, the clash begins. But wait, Kong's packing new heat, a mechanical glove. It's a hammering, smashing, epic face-off. Meanwhile, back in the Hollow Earth, the Yu tribe isn't just sitting pretty. They're knee-deep in a sacred ritual with Jia, because who else can wake the mighty Mothra? And hey, Mothra isn't just any titan, she's Godzilla's old pal. The stakes, sky high. The anticipation, off the charts. Let's see where this titanic team-up takes us next.
Just when the heat of the fight was rising, Godzilla catches sight of his old pal and drops the brawl with Kong. Together, they unleash a mighty roar, ready to tackle the imminent threat as Scar King and his cronies charge towards them. The humans cook up a clever trick using ancient EWEE tech to whip up a gravity surge in Hollow Earth. The plan? Trigger those mystical crystals to slam shut the Earth's portal, keeping the baddies locked away. But wait, here comes Scar King. As sly as ever, ordering Shimo to ice over the barrier, literally. In a snap, they shatter it and waltz right through to the surface. Godzilla and Kong, they're in it to win it, joining forces to take on Shimo and Scar King. As the gravity surge kicks in, it sends our 4 monstrous titans hurtling into the air, crashing down on a beach in Rio de Janeiro. Chaos ensues as Scar King and Shimo turn the beachfront into their own personal ice rink, freezing everything in sight.
As Godzilla powers up his signature atomic breath, he takes aim at the nefarious king, simultaneously ripping off the crystal from the king's whip which breaks his hold over Shimo. Just when you think it can't get any more thrilling, Zuko bursts through the portal wielding Kong's mighty axe and, with one epic swing, shatters the crystal, freeing Shimo from Scar King's evil grip. With Scar King left defenseless, Kong plays a bit of monster volleyball, tossing him right into Godzilla's waiting claws. Godzilla flips him back to Kong who, like a pro, catches him midair for the spike. But wait, plot twist. Shimo turns against her former master, encapsulating him in a tomb of ice. And for the grand finale, Kong goes full icebreaker on Scar King, shattering him into a wintry explosion of villainy bits. Meanwhile, Godzilla, ever the janitor, uses his atomic breath to melt away the havoc and set everything right once more. As our monstrous heroes part ways, Godzilla opts for a well-earned nap in the Colosseum, while Mothra, bless her, stitches up the tear in Hollow Earth's delicate veil.